Hey guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect. Today, we're jumping back to some more StoneBlock 3, getting into some Powah. Hopefully you guys are ready. Hey, you know what? It's episode 10, and you know what that means? That means it's World Download Day. So be sure to get your World Download if you are a premium member of any tier, whether you're a Patreon, you're a Twitch subscriber, or you're a Discord premium member. Yes, even Discord has a way for you guys to support. And that's honestly one of the best ways. So be sure to check that out. Join at discord.gg/ChosenArchitect. Join the amazing community. We have a link listed down in the description below. And of course, it's World Download Day. So that is where all the world downloads are hosted. So be sure to check that out. And well, let's get on with today's video. You know what? Endermen are a pain. Yes, Endermen are a pain. And I'm discovering that more and more with our farm. So the farm I set up last episode, I noticed my Endermen were just teleporting all over the place. Well, I happened to get a crate. I opened it earlier and it gave me an Ender inhibitor, which is the perfect thing that I needed to keep Endermen in their place. I also noticed they were able to pick up blocks, and well, I had to protect my area by taking the FTB chunks and filling this area in. Now, today I have created an area just like all of the other rooms, very similar to it, but today we are going to be getting into the Powah mod. And the reason why we're getting into Powah is because Project E, if we take a look at the transmutation table, we are going to notice that it does require nitro crystals and all kinds of stuff. And there's actually tons of things that require us to get into Powah. Not only the need for power, but we also need to, start progressing through that mod. Thankfully, there's been some changes made that I noticed that is going to make the process of this really easy, especially for auto crafting. So let's take a look at Powah. And some of the things that we need to auto craft is the dielectric paste. Now, there is a recipe here that utilizes lava, but this is the recipe that I want to use: the coal, the clay, and blaze powder. It is fantastic, and so all we have to do is set up some auto crafts. And this is where I'm so glad I got this set up, because auto crafting all of this stuff is going to make my life so much easier. So for example, iron bars, we can get those crafted. We are going to need the directional bars set up just like that. And also these. So might as well have them all set up on their own recipe. And then the casing. All of these things are kind of a pain to handcraft. So getting them done here is just going to make everything so much better. So I can just go ahead and have a handful of them ready to go, and we're golden. Now, I do want to try and put a pattern in each one, so that way it is a little bit more efficient at crafting these items when we request them, because I don't have speed upgrades in here yet. So there we go. So if I wanted to make a bunch of cages, for example, these right here, let's go ahead and make, I don't know, 30 of them. Bam, it tells me all the items needed. I hit start. And the next thing we're going to know, we're going to blink, and these things right here are already filling up, and there's 30 dielectric casings. That's perfect. That's exactly what we're going to need. So the major things that we are going to need moving forward today are going to be we need some sort of power. I know right now we do have power. I plan on getting into flux networks. Yes, we're gonna touch on flux networks here in a minute. But the main thing we're going to hopefully get set up today is a generator. I want to get one of the actual reactors set up from Powah. They produce so much power, and it is going to be so nice. We already have an energizing orb, and then we're going to need these things, the energizing rods, a few of them, and yeah, just some sort of power source, which we already have over here, which is, pretty nice and is going to get us started. And I think this is going to be this power is definitely going to be outdated very, very soon. It is of course powering all of our stuff currently, but I'm going to hook up some flux networks to this, and we are going to use this early on to get our power, so we can get or at least a first gen generator set up. And I think we're going to have everything for the generator. If not, we're going to set up all of the stuff to do it. So let's get started with this. Now, I mentioned flux networks, so getting into 2 mods, hopefully it's not too crazy here, but we need to make ourselves these flux cores, and to do that we need flux dust. Now, the first way to get flux dust is going to be to find obsidian. And I'm thinking if I mine all the way down to the bottom of the earth here, which I don't know how far down that is, I'm hoping we can find obsidian. Thankfully, once we get there, we can just teleport back because we only need this once. So as soon as we make it, we should be good. And I'm thinking, because there's no lava or anything, I can just mine straight down because there's nothing really stopping me from doing that. So if I mine all the way down here, hopefully we're going to hit bedrock. Otherwise, I'm going to fall through void. I'm really hoping there's bedrock down here. Otherwise, I don't know how we're going to get to bedrock. And I've made it. And yes, there is bedrock down here. Okay, perfect. And we don't need much space in order for this to work. So all I need is to place some redstone down here. I take a piece of obsidian and I place it right here. And we just got to get all of this redstone all in this one space. I think the best way to do is just Control Shift click to get it all underneath there as best I can. Control Shift Q and then punch it. And there we go. Perfect. And now we have a bunch of flux dust. The good part is we no longer need obsidian anymore, because as soon as we make a flux block, we can actually use the flux block in order to generate this, or at least we should be. Yeah, see, we can use a flux block. Very nice. Now, to get back, I'm so glad I have the way to teleport. Ah, that's so nice. All right, so with all of this, we can actually set up some auto crafts for this as well. It's definitely going to need to be done. And the main one is going to be Eyes of Ender. Thankfully, we already set up an Ender Dust one. And let's see this. We can make a flux block. So there's a flux block. We need a flux plug. I think we actually have flux plugs, which is really nice, that were given to us as a reward. And then we need to make sure we can block up redstone and then make flux points. Perfect. Now, as you can see, we do have some flux plugs. Now, a flux controller, I'm going to end up getting all the crafting recipe for, and that's going to allow us to wirelessly charge all of our stuff. It's going to be so nice. So with this, we need to make the flux controller. Now, because I don't have the items, this is actually something really neat that you can do. And you can also do this for refined storage. But because I have these items set up for auto crafting, right? Or at least I had almost all of them. I didn't do this one. We can technically, if we don't have the items inside of our storage, we can control click this. And it says right here, if you control click this, this will craft the unavailable items. And thus I can go ahead and start a crafting recipe for those items that are needed for the craft. And now they're done, and bam, I can go ahead and craft a flux controller. How cool is that? Now we already have flux plugs, which really we only need one. And then as far as a point goes, I'm just going to go ahead and make one real quick. And then we can go ahead and set up our first flux network system. And this is how we're going to power everything and get power transferring with Powah to all of our new stuff. So for right now, I think the best place to put a plug, well, is going to be right here on our universal cable. So if I put a plug here, it is connected to our cable in the back that's getting all the power generated to it. And I need to create a new network. And I'm going to call this main. I always call it main because later on, we're probably going to end up using some sort of storage. And I'll set it to public and of course, change it to any color I want. I'll set it to green. I think that's going to work for now. Now, after you do this, you do need to select your network. So make sure under network selection, you do select it. And right here, this might end up causing problems later on. You can see right here, bypass limit. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. We don't need a limit at the moment. Limits are used for, I would say they're better used for sending the power out, not necessarily setting a limit to how much power goes in. So over here, this is where we can hook in our cables. So let's go ahead and set up our flux point, and this is just going to send power out. So if we select the main, the power that's coming from that cable now wirelessly makes its way here. And I think you can place this directly on, and as you can see, it's powered. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to use some energy cables to hook this up. Now, to power the stuff in our inventory, I'm going to go ahead and just place this over here secretly, and we're going to select main, and then we're going to go to bypass limit. This would also be a good thing to set a limit on maybe, but for right now, I'm not going to worry about it. And we are going to set up wireless charging. So I'm going to enable wireless charging, and then you select where you want wireless charging to take place. Now, in your main inventory, it will not work. As you can see, it's disabled. So once you have this set up, you hit apply, and now this should be charging. And as you can see, it is definitely charging. And I guess that may be full or maybe out of power somewhere, but it should be charging me. You can see right here, it is working. I think it's charging other things. Yeah. So it charged my gadget up. It's charging. It should charge whatever else is in my inventory that needs charging. I'm assuming it's charging this right now. So there you go. It's working. And as soon as this hits 100%, then it's going to start charging my personal shrinking device. And so we should have power maintained throughout. Oh, it's so nice once you get this mod set up. And it's such a small mod, very simple. The interface may look kind of daunting, but I promise you it is very simple. All you have to do is that. So I've already started work on all of these. These are all starters that we have set up, but I wanted to go ahead and get enough of them that I can, of course, get started with. To get to the next level is actually not that hard. All we need is a block of quartz for each one of these. And of course, I have to upgrade each and every one of them individually in here because, well, they all have their own set of data when they're charged or not. So I'm going to get these upgraded to the next tier, which is going to be the basic tier. However, I do need blocks of quartz, which we have plenty of, thanks to a quartz chicken. But yeah, this is going to be our next step. I went ahead and set up the power cables like this. I have my energizing orb in the center with a hopper underneath it connected to a barrel. And we're about to get into some interesting automation. So when it comes to automation, this is honestly my first time setting this up, but I want to try and use LaserIO to get this working. So I do know that I can put items in here, but unfortunately, if you have a hopper, it's going to just put all the items that the hopper's holding inside here until its internal buffer is filled, until its full main buffer is filled. Now, thankfully, its input and output are actually separated. So the hopper can only pull out things that are finished crafting. Now, to be able to utilize this, let's actually take a barrel and we'll set this on top of a LaserIO node. And because this is next to it, we should be facing on the west. So if I pull on the west, we can have an insert card right here. And by default, this is set to insert. And then on the top, right, the upper side, we can set this to an extract. And it's going to pull items from this chest and insert it into here. As you can see, it's currently doing that, and it's doing a good job. That's exactly what we want. However, I need to specify exactly what items are going in, and I also need to specify how many. And at the moment, it's not able to do that on its own. So there is actually something called a counting filter. I've not used this, but I'm going to try it out, that we should be able to put inside of the insert here. And all we got to do is say, I want 1 iron. By the way, we can do this. I want 1 iron to go in to that inventory. And I'm hoping if I put that in here, it should only put 1 in. As you can see, only 1 is going in. Now, the good part is to be able to make this recipe or many of the recipes in Powah, it requires you to have specific quantities of certain things. And normally you'd have to use some sort of advanced redstone stuff to kind of get it going. Thankfully, you can automate it quite easily with this. Just to kind of demonstrate here, if I make energizing steel, bam, all we have to do is put 1 and then 1 gold and just give it gold and iron, and it will constantly put only one iron and 1 gold in at a time. And I think we can use the same filter here. So if I also put gold, right? If I put this in here, it should now notice that both of those are in here. It'll put both in. The process happens, and bam, inside our chest, we're getting energized steel. This is fantastic. And this makes it so much easier. So now anytime I need to change the recipe, all I got to do is just add the recipe in here. So if I want to make blazing, by the way, all I have to say is, all right, just allow me to put only 1 blaze rod in at a time. And then it's done. And then we get what we need. Same for this. I can say, okay, only put 1 diamond in. For the spirited, only put 1 emerald in. And for the nitro, I can say, okay, put another star, put 2 blocks of redstone in, and put a block of the blazing crystal. And that's it. Like, this is automation done easy, thanks to Direwolf and LaserIO. Oh man, what a mod. What a mod. I tell you what, this has made this so So simple. I mean, just look how crazy simple this is. It just works. So just to continue progression now that, man, this is just overwhelming. We now have a bunch of energized steel. All right, and I'm going to be able to use this to upgrade all of these yet again. So that's why I went with these cables right here, because these cables are actually kind of nice, the advanced ones, and should be able to support most of the power for right now. These can, just on the tier 2 of the mechanism cables, can support up to 51,000, which is going to last us quite a while. That's why I'm using these cables. Now, you can go with the Powah cables, which are kind of nice, but you also have to upgrade them in the same vein that you upgrade these. They are really nice, but later on we should hopefully get into like simple wireless power that Powah provides. But to upgrade these, we're going to have to get into hardening capacitors, and so it is time yet again for me to set up some more auto crafting, because these hardened capacitors, well, they use the regular capacitors that are in their large variant and even more of the dielectric paste, but they require the energized steel in order to make them. And I've got all of these to upgrade, because the more that I have, the more storage buffer we have, and the quicker we can make the next tier, and the tier after that, and the tier after that. And hopefully we can get ourselves at least a blazing generator set up today. So moving on to the next section, all I got to do is clear this out, just like so, and then just place one in and make sure it's one at a time. Oh, this is so much easier than the way it was before. Oh man, so I think after blazing, we're definitely going to be able to fit this in here. And I'm thinking about putting the blazing back here on the back wall. I'm definitely thinking about putting the reactor back here. I need to get this area cleared out. And, or actually, you know what? I should put the reactor right here. That actually looked kind of cool. And it doesn't need a whole lot of space. So the reactor, I believe, is 4 tall and only 3 wide, and also 3 in the other direction. It was a 3x3x4, and it builds itself. You're going to see that here in just a moment. Now with this, I'm running into a few problems. You can see we don't have the power really to sustain the upgrade here, to be making these blazing catalysts, as they do cost a little bit more power, 90,000 FE in order to do the operation. So how are we going to fix this? Well, I think for right now, I'm going to, I think I can make better upgrades for our current generators within thermal, because I did set out to make all of the materials that we needed to at least make this. So I even have all of the stuff, yeah, to make the signalium and everything that we need. So all I need is the upgrades that are currently in them, and then I should be able to get these things going a little bit faster, or at least cooking a little bit hotter. So let's grab out our augment, and so this just requires the gears. So there we go. That's at least 2 upgrades worth, and I definitely have the electrum. So there's the upgrade in this, and that is going to bump us up to 120 RF on its own, just being produced here, which is going to be significantly better than what we were currently using. And I'm going to do this to all of them. Now, one thing I realized as I was getting this up, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to get the reactor. Well, Powah actually needs, uraninite, right? So I need to get raw uraninite, and to do that, I need to set up my crushing wheel to be able to produce raw uraninite. And you may be thinking, well, don't you have a uranium chicken? I mean, I do, but it only produces uranium nuggets, and for some reason, it doesn't seem like there's a way to convert it over to the power type. So to do this, I'm going to take an igneous extruder, and I'm just going to make it with the crushing wheels. And it does say it's an 8% chance, kind of low, but right here we should be able to crush the deep slate using our current setup that we have, and over time it's going to build up. Actually, the uranium, the uranite doesn't actually, it doesn't use that much in the reactor. So crushed deep slate, how am I going to get that? Well, deep slate itself, pretty simple, with just some packed ice and inside of an igneous extruder, right? So you have lava on one side, packed ice on the other, should be able to produce cobbled deep slate, and we can produce this pretty quickly, and just have it fed directly into a container that's going to go into this auto hammer right here, and everything should be good at that point. So pretty simple to set up. Igneous extruder, we'll go ahead and place the lava igneous extruder, and I believe just the pack ice next to it. And there we go, cobbled deep slate. Next thing I'm going to need is my barrel, And I might be able to fit in here. Let's actually go a little higher. Yeah, this is why this is like our scrap room for all of our like janky setups. We'll go ahead and place the configurator. Get that pulling out. And then what we should have is, there we go, cobbled deep slate going into this. That is still taking cobblestone from somewhere. Where is it taking cobblestone from? This should not be accepting anything but cobble deep slate here. Is cobble deep slate what we need? So to make this, we need crushed, which is any type of deep slate, right? It's showing cobbled. And that's going into the hammer. The hammers should be accepting it. Interesting. Okay, I found the problem. The problem was I placed the barrel here. Ah, and that caused the issue. Okay. So yes, this needs to be connected here. But for some reason, it is not accepting the cobbled deep slate, even though it is supposed to. Huh. Well, I did figure out the problem, and it has to be a diamond auto hammer. Or higher, because it was not working with the other tiers. So diamond auto hammer is what has to be used for this. Otherwise, it will not pull out of the chest. Very interesting. Okay, so the thing I'm going to use is just a regular ender drawer set up with this, and this actually should work quite well. So we'll set our, actually, we don't need another ender drawer or anything. We just need functional storage and our linking tool, and we shift punch the store and shift right click on this drawer to change what it's set to. Boom. And then from this point on, everything should be quite nice. As soon as all of this gets done through the hopper, we definitely should start seeing some of that uranium. So I just set up the auto crafting recipes for the reactor, and I believe we need 36 of these blocks. I believe the book tells us right here. Yeah, we need 36 of them. It is a 3x4 or 3x3x4. And like I said, it builds itself, which is incredibly nice. Now, to make it, we are going to need a bit of the uraninite, which is currently being produced at the moment. So just a little bit more time, and we will be generating some significant power that is going to definitely propel us into the future. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Thankfully, we don't need too much of it. So all of this is being produced, as you can see right here. I already have 11 of them. I can go ahead and pull those out. These do have to be smelted down, and eventually we're going to get ourselves all of this stuff automated. So this stuff will be nice and automated. Now, I should probably be, once we get the reactor upgraded, we're going to be switching to the iron furnaces mod, which just produces, just smelts stuff way fast. It's the perfect mod for smelting, and can do factories, which can have multiple smelting slots, similar to Mechanism. It is just, it's too good. It's just too good. So I should have a bunch processed now. So let's go ahead and take all of this, and we are getting ourselves a reactor made. So Powah, and here is my reactors. So I'm going to need 36 of these. Now it should automatically do the math and go, hey, how many do you actually need? And it shouldn't do 36 separate crafts of these. It should make exactly 36. And then we'll use these to upgrade to our next tier. Also, I need a muffler. I should just mute these. I know I can do it here, but still. All right, so there's our basic reactor. And then we are going to upgrade to the starter and then hardened, right? So this is, oh no, we just made basic, didn't we? Right off the top. Because, I could have just selected this and made 36 of these, because it would have done all the prior requests. Oh my gosh. All right, so here we go. It is doing the final craft. It is taking the ones that we already have, and 36 of them. Ah, this is so nice. Now, by default, I'm not going to automate this today, but we will automate it next time. Now, what I should be able to do is place the one block right in the middle where I want it. And look at this. It is going to go ahead and take them all to my inventory and build a reactor in the wall. This is perfect. Now, now that it's built, we do need a few things. We need a bucket of water. And this is a little weird because you may think that you're going to need a lot of water. when in reality, all you need is a single bucket to right click on here, and that water is forever there. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Now, ice. Ice is kind of nice if you can gather some more of it. Now there's a couple of different ways we can make ice, and I wonder what is going to be the best way to do it. Probably just a blast chiller and some water. Probably the best way to generate a large quantity of ice. It does require power, but we don't need it 100% right off the bat. So let's take a look at everything else. We also need redstone. So let's go ahead and craft 64 of these. So we'll go ahead and get 64 of those crafted up. And then coal, I'm going to go ahead and actually make 64 blocks of these. And so coal and redstone are going to buff this a little bit as far as our power output. And then last but not least, we need uraninite. So we need to fill the uraninite in the middle, put this in, put this in. It'll start to generate power already, which is fine. It's generating, like as you can see, 2.2 thousand, but we do need that ice in here. The best thing would be dry ice. Dry ice is the best, and it requires two blue ice in order to make it. But like I said, I'm going to use the thermal, and I'm going to get that placed over here. Now, I'm going to be testing something out that I've actually never done before. I do have this book right here that I did place down early on that we got, which was a free Silk Touch book from our quests. And let's see, anvil. We can make that real quick. I'm going to be using this to set this to Silk Touch because we want to be able to break some more of this ice that we have. And I think the best way to do this is actually to use an entropy manipulator from Applied Energistics. And I'm going to set up a little water pool and show you how this is going to work. So if we have a water pool, go ahead and place this here. Water pool, just like this. Let's grab another bucket of water. Just like that. Infinite water supply, right? I think we can shift right click and turn this into ice for a little bit of power. Just a little bit of power. It's kind of crazy. And then we can pick that ice up and repeat the process, as you can see, and get more and more ice. This is a pretty interesting way of getting ice early on, I would have to say. Now, instead of spending all of our time getting packed ice this way by, multiplying this and making it this way, we can actually toss it right here. And this should turn it into packed ice on our own. Like if we place it here, that should just turn into packed ice. It's kind of crazy. Like the water itself is going to freeze onto it and convert it into packed ice without needing to go that route. So now we have packed ice. I can actually use this to make the blast chiller. Now to set up this blast chiller, I went ahead and made an aqueous accumulator to generate the water that we're going to need. And let's go ahead and get just a couple of water buckets. Very, very simple here. And we'll place the aqueous accumulator. I think it can send the water directly up. At least I hope so. Because I want to have this set up pretty close by so I can actually just send the items directly over. So what I can do is maybe have the water right here. Actually, we'll probably do it here. That way we're not interfering with our builds over here. So the source block of water, we have a water here, another here, and then we can take the aqueous accumulator, place it right down in the middle. That's going to start generating water, hopefully sending up to the blast chiller. If I can. Does it not automatically send? It doesn't look like it automatically. Oh, wait, can we have it automatically pull? So auto input. And then yes, we can have it automatically pull. And then on the side, we're going to have this be our output, and it's going to just go ahead and send the ice directly over here because we're going to use regular ice for right now. So with that, we just need to give it some power with a flux point. Boop. And set it to main. That should be sending that power. And then we'll take a plug, and I'm going to attach a plug right here on this red dot. For now, set it to main, and this should be sending power. Make sure we turn this on so it automatically regulates itself, doesn't waste the fuel. It may not be sending, or if it is, it's sending it all here. Let's actually try, maybe we have to put it on this node. There we go. So yeah, we had to put it onto this node, and as you can see, it is now functioning. This should be receiving power. Should, I say. But maybe it's because everything else is being overridden at the moment. Especially with this. Should probably take some of that out. So it's not using all of our power. Let's check. And still not receiving power. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, there it goes. It just took a moment, I think, for everything to sort of catch up. Maybe that was low on power. And perfect. So this is sending ice here, which should boost our generation factor a little bit. And we should be producing, it looks like we're producing about 2,000 with this one. Every mod pack is different, and I know every mod pack configures their generators a little bit differently. But as you can see right now, it is generating about 2,000 RF per tick, which is not a whole lot, but it is better. And of course, we're going to be upgrading into the next tiers very quickly. And this whole setup will be a lot better once we have better ice as well. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit of this amazing mod called, well, Powah. And it's generating a bunch of it right now, and we're going to be generating more and more to come. Next episode, I think we're going to be working on even more Powah, and of course, getting things fully upgraded and produced there. It's going to be kind of an exponential growth, and we'll get there eventually. But guys, I would love to ask you guys to check out my Discord. It is discord.gg/ChosenArchitect, and there you will find access to the premiums. The premium section. If you check that out, it would get you access to our subservers. As a perk, you get also access to all kinds of goodies. You'll have to check it out. It is over at discord.gg/ChosenArchitect, and we do have a StoneBlock 2 server or StoneBlock 3 server up, so be sure to check that out. And guys, I know I don't promote myself enough, but if you would click that subscribe button and get your world download. It's World Download Day. Yeah, episode 10 world download. I made sure to mention it at the beginning, but I'm mentioning it here as well, just in case you forgot. Guys, I hope to see you in the next episode. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.